Hey everybody, thank you so much for tuning back in. We're going to talk about chapter 2 of Leading Groups with Purpose. And this chapter is all about your role in God's plan and giving your group purpose. So this chapter starts off by looking at a Bible verse, Acts 5:42, which says, "Day after day, in the temple courts and from house to house, they never stopped teaching and proclaiming the good news that Jesus is the Christ." And then it goes into talking about the biblical role model for a small group. From the very beginning to now, small groups have been essential to Christian community. So, what does the Bible tell us about small groups in the New Testament? If you look at Acts 2:42, it says that they devoted themselves to the apostles' teaching and to fellowship, to the breaking of bread and to prayer. These are the fivefold biblical purposes of a small group: fellowship, discipleship, ministry, evangelism, and worship. Looking at each one, fellowship's very easy to understand. It's where you're gathering together and you are engaging each other at a deeper level than surface talk. What's going on in your life, really? How are you doing? And you develop that close personal relationship with each other, and as you do that, you're growing closer to God. Discipleship. They devoted themselves to the apostles' teaching. It's very simple. You're looking, you're researching, you're reading, you're gaining cognitive knowledge of the Bible or of aspects of the Bible, but more so than that, you are applying those into your life. So you're studying about fasting, and then you apply it to your life. That's discipleship. Ministry, they gave to anyone who had a need. In your group, if somebody has a need, give to them. Help them. If they're in the hospital, go to them. If they need meals, cook them meals. If they need financial support, see if you can help them with that. We're about doing life together. Evangelism. Evangelism is where you're going out into the world and you're spreading the good news about Jesus Christ, and you're inviting people into the church that are no longer, they're sinners and they need Christ to set them free. And then you've got worship, which is devoted themselves to the breaking of bread and to prayer. Worship's where you're actually worshiping Jesus together. You're praying for each other's needs and you're growing closer to Christ through that. So the definition of success for the assembly is that we want to see every person, every adult in our congregation to be in a healthy group where they are growing closer to God, closer to each other. They're participating in ministry, they're participating in evangelism, and we're trying to grow real disciples of Jesus Christ. And real disciples of Jesus Christ follow this fivefold biblical mandate. So, what's our mission? Our mission is to see every person from the core of our church to the ever-growing community connected relationally in a group. That's our goal. And so we do that through Sunday morning classes, through small groups in your house, through Wednesday night opportunities, and through Monday night opportunities. We have got plenty of opportunities, and our goal is to get every single person connected. That's our heart, to see them become true disciples. So what's your role? Your role is not as a teacher or as a sage or prophet. Your role is a connector. You are the one that goes and meets people. You're the one that connects them together, and you're the facilitator of discipleship. That's your role, that's your purpose, to help facilitate discipleship in a core group of people. And so your group, I'm looking to you for leadership and helping guiding them to discipleship through Jesus Christ. And how do you do that? You do that through balancing these 5 areas: ministry, evangelism, worship, fellowship, and discipleship. You balance those. You don't necessarily have to do every one in a meeting, but you balance them over the group. So don't be afraid to go out and witness to other people. Encourage your group to take baby steps. We're going to talk about this more in the book, but baby steps: crawl, step, walk, run. Take those little steps to encourage your group. So what am I expecting of you as a facilitator of discipleship? I'm expecting you not to necessarily teach like this, but to teach like this, where you're getting everybody involved in the process. So as you're looking at this chapter, you see the two dispensing or facilitating conversation. I want you to facilitate. And there's 14 little things right here that I'm going to go through. It's going to be real quick. Don't do all the talking. Be comfortable with silence. Be a good listener. Don't just think you're listening, but be a good listener. Don't answer your own questions. Ask open-ended questions. Begin and end on time. Have a small group guideline of what's kind of expected of everybody, and make sure everybody understands the purpose of your group. Try to involve everybody. Remember, the focus is not on getting through the material, but life transformation. Make sure all the cell phones in your group are turned off. Ask for help if you need it. If you're going to talk about a special subject, don't worry. Ask for help. Many people in your group have more than the amount of information to help you with that. Be prepared. Make sure everything's good to go when you're starting. And a key thing right here is pray and remember that God is in charge of your group. So the most effective leaders have 4 key relationships. First one, keep that relationship with Christ cultivated. Second one, look to somebody who is one level ahead of you. You know, depending on how your small group ministry is set up, there might be somebody, a very experienced small group leader that you can look up to. But you also need a spiritual partner. This is the third one, spiritual partner. Somebody to move alongside you, an accountability partner. And then you also need somebody who is beneath, or not beneath you, but is an apprentice, kind of like Paul and Timothy. But those are the 4 relationships that lead to success. That was chapter 2 in a breeze-by version. I would encourage you to read it if you haven't already. Let it soak in. But those 5 biblical mandates of discipleship, fellowship, ministry, worship, and evangelism, they're key. And I encourage you to implore each of those in your group. Thanks so much, and I look forward to going over chapter 3 with you next week.